Welcome to the Deal Calendar. I'm Suzanne Stevens.
And I'm Greg Johnson.
This is our weekly look at important dates in deal making and also at some stories that we're covering in the Deal newsroom. Greg, there are several significant dates to highlight the week of July 14th.
Yes, July 14th is a very important date for TriZetto Group shareholders. That's the day they vote on a $1.4 billion sale of their company to Apax Partners. You know, this deal is interesting because it's one of the few take-privates we've seen in recent months. It's also compelling because TriZetto Group customers Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee and the Regents Group are partly funding this buyout.
Yeah, it's an example of how companies are getting creative in order to get deals done in a market where credit is hard to come by. And because of that, certainly Wall Street has been slammed. And so we'll be watching closely on July 17th when Merrill, Lynch, and J.P. Morgan both announce earnings. In J.P. Morgan's case, this is the quarter that will reflect the closing of the Bear Stearns deal. So we could see some transaction costs associated with that, and also maybe some reorganization costs because between the two of them, there have been about 13,000 employees laid off, I think, over the last few months.
Well, it's certainly not alone. All told, about 60,000 bankers on Wall Street have been laid off, and that number could go as high as 83,000. This is because investment banks are trying desperately to rebuild their cash reserves.
Right.
This is also one reason why we're hearing that Merrill Lynch may be trying to shop its stakes in BlackRock and Bloomberg.
Well, speaking of raising capital, we're both sports fans, so we've been watching this closely. On July 18th, bids are due for the Chicago Cubs, and that's a deal that will include also Wrigley Field, as well as the baseball franchise itself, as well as Tribune Company's sports entertainment cable network. And I think the value of about $1 billion is what they're expecting.
That's right, and Sam Zell certainly has to do something. He leveraged himself to the hilt when he bought Tribune Company. But I understand that the bidding for the Cubs is going very slowly. This may be because Zell is trying desperately to arrange a deal in which he avoids a whole lot of capital gains tax liabilities. But the problem is that even though he's looking for an ally to do this leveraged partnership, it's proving as difficult as finding a $2 hot dog at a baseball stadium.
Well, actually, just FYI, Greg, the recession special at Gray's Papaya, I think you can still get a dog for $2 here in New York.
Okay.
The one thing that Sam Zell does have going for him, certainly, though, is that he's shopping the Chicago Cubs. I mean, that's a storied baseball franchise, and for some bidders, that may be enough.
Yes, owning any sports franchise is like having a trophy possession. That's why anybody who has a big ego or a lot of money would love to do it, and that's why Mark Cuban probably would be a fantastic contender for the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs fans would love for Cuban to step up. He's got the money to do a deal, and he used his cash to turn around the Dallas Mavericks.
Well, no one will be watching that closer than the Cubs fans themselves, but we'll certainly be covering that story as it develops in thedeal.com. Greg Johnson, thanks a lot for sitting in on the Deal Calendar.
You're welcome.
And thank you for watching. I'm Suzanne Stevens. If you have suggestions of dates we should be aware of, send us an email at reporters@thedeal.com.